Welcome back to the Miracles and Grace podcast. I'm your host, Grace Marinick Hackett, and today we're here with my father-in-law, Mr. Michael Hackett. Welcome to the podcast.
I'm happy to be here, and I know this is just a ploy to get your name in my will, but that's okay. That's okay. You're already there.
You know what I thought before this? Thank
What?
you. I thought, my dad's been doing a bunch of videos for us to all have if he's not here.
That's perfect.
And I was thinking, you have such a cool story that I'm excited for you to share. But I also was just thinking, I know this will bless people that listen to it, but it will also be something that will just bless our family to have,
That's why I'm still here.
I know. Well,
That's
I'm really
what I'm saying.
grateful. Okay, there's a lot of things I want to talk about today, but something that I thought would be cool, just again on the point of our family having this. I think it's cool for people to know these things about you, but also I think it would be cool for our family just to have a record of you talking about just yourself, how you were raised, kind of like your story growing up.
Sure.
You want to start there?
Sure. Yeah, I would, because it was a snowy day in March 1947 when I came home.
Really?
No, it was snowing when I came home from the hospital in March.
Wow.
Unusual for. So that was it. That's a start. But what has occurred many, many years later has been the explosion of our family.
Yeah.
And during that explosion, where so many grandchildren were being born, Beth, my wife, died unexpectedly. I had grown up in a family where there wasn't any real Christian education experiences. I went to a Catholic school, which was full of church doctrine.
In what city?
I was in Whitehaven, Tennessee,
Okay.
just outside of Memphis, very close to the Mississippi line. So, in fact, we didn't even own a Bible. I just almost picked it up. The first Bible I ever owned, I'm 87. No, 78.
I was going to say, wait.
Hey, that will's going to come in pretty handy.
I was like, you're not 87.
78. I'm not good with numbers.
Don't you have dyslexia?
I do now. It's got older.
I thought Davey said you did.
I do.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah, or you go through whole life this way. It's pretty annoying. So anyway, so in the Catholic religion, we didn't study the Bible. We didn't have Bibles, but we had Bible stories. And they were always very fascinating stories. As I was growing up, I enjoyed them. But then when I left the Catholic schools, I went to a public high school. I was not accustomed to the knowledge level that other kids had of their faith. Not everybody, a few.
Yeah.
None that I ran around with anyway, but it was an eye-opener. Then off to college, and during that time, what little faith I had continued to pull away from Christ. I didn't even know what was happening.
Yeah.
And then after graduation, I met my wife, Beth, and she was one of the most amazing people in her faith and the way she handled herself. Quiet, never angry, generous, caring, love the grandkids.
Yeah.
And in fact, two of them have been born since she died.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the big question I had to myself, I was never angry at God. And I'm not sure it was because I didn't know him well enough. That he was not an entity to me. I was a bench sitter. My wife, Beth, and I went to church every Sunday. I can think of
Can I interrupt you and ask a question?
Sure.
Will you tell, you said y'all met after graduation. Will you tell what it was like meeting and going on your first date?
I was not really good at that. I wasn't good at that dating.
I don't believe it.
Well, we didn't go to bingo because I'm not good with numbers.
I'm not
I
either.
I met her at the bank where I worked in human resources, and I finished a career of 48 years in human resources, and I taught at the University of Memphis and Vanderbilt and all the different universities as a evening
Professor?
part-time professor. Taught management, leadership, and customer service. And
We need more of that
oh,
in this today's world.
I'm ready to go with that. I wrote a letter yesterday to a lady that just deserved to be congratulated on the excellent service, and I do that all the time. And in nurses and in hospitals. And
Yeah.
I'm getting off the subject, but
It's okay.
one of several times Beth was in the hospital, the nurses were at Vanderbilt were just it was shocking to see how caring they were. So I wrote them all a letter to their mothers. And
Wow.
I gave them the letter. I said, give this to your mother. And in that letter, I congratulated the mothers and the parents for bringing up such wonderful kids. So,
I can't imagine getting that letter from someone as a mom saying your child did this. I'm sure that meant so much.
well, I hope anybody that's listening will take that to heart. But it kind of brings us back to the story I have with Beth.
Yeah.
We were
y'all
married
dated.
48 years,
You have 5 kids?
5 kids, and 19 grandchildren. And thanks to you,
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
You know how much Christmas cost me.
We're bringing up the caboose.
Yeah. So anyway, she, the doctors would say, "Oh no, she's anorexic, and suffering from anorexia." And I said, "No, she's not. I'm with her 24/7. If I'm at work, I'm not with her, but any other time, I was with my wife Beth. We went everywhere together, and we were together. I drove. I never allowed her to drive. I wanted to be with her. And as you can imagine, with that symptom of a disease, you just shrink down to nothing.
Yeah.
Now, she had a cousin or somewhere over in Arkansas that had the same issue, and we could never put weight on her. In fact, the more effort we made, the worse the situation came. So anyway, we went to the hospital a couple of times, as I said, and your husband, my son, Dave, and one of my other sons, Jonathan, were extremely close to their mother. They were just crazy about her, and and we went. We were one year we had 200 baseball games, and
Wow.
that doesn't include practice.
Wow.
And my boys and my daughter. In fact, one of my best players was my daughter, but I don't
I
advertise
believe
that.
it. She coaches a special needs little league now. That's really sweet.
Yeah, she loves baseball, Boston fan, and so anyway, she's real pretty. You would never think that she was a
She's
athlete.
beautiful.
Like
Every time my mom leaves being around her, she says, Jennifer is so beautiful. I'm like, I know.
She is. But anyway, she's one of 5, and she has five children,
Yeah.
and 2 are autistic. Both of the autistic children are geniuses.
Yeah.
Just make incredible grades. And the oldest daughter is at Belmont,
Yeah.
and she is another just amazing person.
Yeah, she is. Because
And-
y'all have, so you and Beth had Jennifer and Chris, who are twins, and they're Davey's oldest siblings. And then y'all have Daniel, then Johnny, then Davey. So Davey's the youngest of 5.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Jennifer and her kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to outline for people who
Yeah.
don't know, the birth order.
Yeah, and those of you that are dozing off now, let me just finish
No,
this.
no.
Anyway, she has 5 kids, and she's a special needs teacher, has a master's degree. All my kids have either masters or multiple PhDs, and I barely got out of high school, so I know they took after my wife.
Well, it's funny when we got married and I graduated college in August and then me and Davey got married in September. He was like, all the Hacketts have masters. Are you going to go get yours? And I was like, nope, I'm not.
It's probably an individual thing, but my wife and I, especially me, living through my children all the rest of my life, I really pushed them. And in fact, Jennifer's twin brother has written 8 books. He's a PhD, teaches philosophy at a seminary in Indiana, and he just finished a book along with the Pope that died.
Wow.
I don't know which one that is.
Yeah.
I'm Baptist, by the way, so I'm not required to know who the Pope was. But and if you met any of them, just like yourself, just laid back, quiet, unassuming, and
You raised great kids.
they are ones building the largest building in Nashville. He's an engineer and construction engineer on that, and
Yeah, if you're in Nashville, the Nashville Yards. My brother-in-law is on building that. We went out there the other day, and I was telling my mom their kids are Emory and Easton, and there's 2 new residences down there, and they were going to name both of them the Emory and the Easton in the Nashville Yards downtown. And I think there was something with like there's an Easton, some other kind of Easton building or a Weston or something, so they couldn't use Easton. But so it's the Emory and the Everett. But I went down there and I saw it. They just, I think, finished constructing it, and I saw it, and I was like, I told my parents, I was like, that's named after my niece. Which is cool.
I'm very proud of you and
Thank you.
all of the Hackett kids, and the grandchildren are just excelling, and it's all due to the blessings that I receive that carry over in blessings for the children and the grandchildren and their children, and continue on in life.
Yeah.
And that's the answer I got when I prayed. When I pray, it's not like the prayers I think anybody else or anything else God hears. It's just talking to him.
Yeah.
And so in talking with God, I was very concerned about why would you leave me here, who was sitting on the bench, going to church, loving the music, but never really committing to Christ. Never. I understood it over time. After I got married, I understood it. But it was like, I'm telling you what, if you ever do a podcast on devils, let me know, because I'll be the first in line. It's like the devil is, if you don't believe in the devil, then you need to think about this. He's there, and he works on you. And the more successful he is, the harder he works to keep you away from Christ and our life with the future. So with God in heaven.
Yeah.
And knowing that Beth was so faithful to the Word, she studied. And in fact, one of y'all brought to me a scripture, showed me a scripture she had in her hand the day she died, the moment she died. It had blood on it. And what's interesting too is the quote that she was writing from was really from 2 different versions of the Bible. So I know that she was writing it from memory.
Yeah.
Big on it. Never once did my wife ever say to me, "You're going to have to get more involved with your faith." Not once. But through her example, and all things happen for the good for those who believe in Christ. That is difficult to understand.
Yeah.
Because we don't understand his time frame. But at this point, in thinking about coming over here, I said, this has all come to the good. How can you say that about your wife dying? That's his plan. His plan was for me to be here and to carry on her legacy.
Yeah.
And the legacy would be to make sure that my children, family are involved and committed to their faith, so that one day we will all be in heaven.
Yeah.
Now, heaven is not some little story. It's real. It's a real place. And if you study the topic of heaven through the Bible, you will learn that when Christ makes a promise, when God makes a promise, he never breaks it. He can't lie to you.
Yeah.
And so I came to the conclusion that that's why I was here, and that the faith my wife had is something that I want my children and grandchildren to understand and believe, and believe in and day out. And in that process of going through this discovery, and I was on my own because I didn't have a minister. I didn't know a minister. I went to church. They recognized me because I tithe. Oh yeah, I've seen your name before, but it's not on the list that it's going to get you in heaven. It was on the financial list at the church.
Wow.
So anyway, very nice people. We always sat with some old folks, and we got along great, but never part of the church. 2 weeks before my wife died in church, I should say Beth, said, we need to join the church. Our family expects that, and God expects it, and that's what I expect that we need to do. And so I said, I think we can do that. And she died before we could join. I was 78, no,
That was
75.
2007.
I was.
Oh, you're talking about ages?
I was my age. I was 75, and when Beth died, she was 70.
Yeah, and there's 2022.
And it was not a death of a medical type that would cause you great pain. She basically dropped dead from heart failure because her body was just eating up her muscle, living off her muscle. And the thing that hurt her most and hurt me most was we would go out in public, even to churches, to a church. We went to one church for 10 years or more together. And people would stare at her because she was
so small,
so thin. She was so thin, and but also had arthritis. And many times I would step in between her and who was staring at her. I didn't say anything to anybody, but she knew what I was doing, and so we got along. We got along great. We had one argument in 48 years.
Wow.
And it wasn't very long, an argument, because I said, well, I'm not going to upset our relationship because of who likes chocolate ice cream or something. And and that's the truth. I can't lie because I'm Baptist now. So anyway, I think Beth will be proud of where we are.
Totally.
And I did several things trying to build this strength of my faith, and I this is terrible. I've taken it down now because there's so many really good websites out there. But it was on family prayer, and I gave a lot of examples.
Yeah. It was great.
I don't know if it was, but there's some really good ones out there, and so I just let it. So after 3 years, but she was she had family prayer on Sundays. And on Sunday, she was prepared. She knew the Bible. She had prepared for the class. And our boys and daughter sure better show up.
As they were growing up, she did that?
What?
Like when your kids were growing up, she did that?
Oh, yeah. Every Sunday evening. And we all went to church, but she had her own, they called her Beth's church.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, she was a good teacher, and she taught a little bit after we first got married, but she left her legacy with me with responsibility, and that's what God honored.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to do anything but to continue on, and then that's when I had I'd never been in the hospital in my life other than pick up children and take them home.
Yeah.
And I had three back surgeries.
Yeah.
In 2 months.
Yeah, because so Beth passed unexpectedly in 2021, and it was 2 months before we had Crew. It was in May, and we had him in July. It was May 15th, I think, or 11th.
Something like that.
We're
Yeah.
not, neither one of us are good with numbers. But it was mid-May, and then we had him in July. I think it was the 15th or the 18th. Anyways, and then you had, I think it was your second back surgery, because Davey and Johnny and your kids had rotated taking care of you through your first one. And then your second one, me and Davey came and stayed at your house, and I was so pregnant with Crew, and Davey was up with you in the night, and I was up with contractions all night.
Oh
And
no.
then we both woke up and we were both really tired, and I was like, I really hope we don't have this baby today. And we didn't. Then that night we came home, we got a good night's sleep, and Johnny stayed with you, and we woke up the next day and I had him that day.
Oh, I didn't know that
Yeah.
you were there with.
So that whole summer was, we've talked about this a lot, because that summer was such a juxtaposition of holding excitement and expectation for our first baby, and then grieving the loss of life of Beth. But there's a few things that I want to talk about and ask you about. Number one, I don't know if you remember this. You probably don't, because obviously we lost her unexpectedly and it was really traumatic. And but I don't know if I've ever told you this. That morning I was taking a shower and I was just thinking, I had this just like this feeling in my spirit, and I can't explain it, but I just felt like something bad was going to happen. Like I couldn't shake it all day.
Oh my.
I was thinking, like, I don't know. I think I remember having the thought, my life has been pretty smooth. Like I lost different people, but never a parent or an in-law or a sibling or anything like that. And I just had this weight on me that morning that felt like it's coming. And it was the strangest thing. And looking back, most, like, if a lot of people, if you know me, I tend to have very emotional responses to things. Like I always have a hard time going to people's funerals, because I'm like, I'm not the person you want comforting you, because I'm always so emotional at funerals. You know what I mean? And that day, I feel like God put that weight on me and that feeling that something was coming, so that I could like mentally prepare, but like prepare that I felt like he was preparing my heart, because literally that night we got the call that Beth had passed, and we went to y'all's house. And I doubt many people in the family remember this, because it was just such a blur, as it is when traumatic things happen. But I'll never forget, everybody was like in shock and in the first stages of grief. But that was the first time I'd ever seen you cry. And I know Davey would say like he's only seen you cry like maybe once before that. But you were processing so much, talking about y'all's life together and what she meant to you. And I feel, and all of your kids were in such shock that I don't really feel like anybody had the capacity to process with you. But I remember, I'll never forget that night. I felt like God prepared my heart for what was coming in a way, because I was able to sit with you and talk and listen to you and like hear all that you were saying and talking about in y'all's life, which was really cool. And I feel like since then, I've just seen such a tender side of you. Like when you talk about Beth or you talk about your grandkids, like you get emotional. And I know that's something that I think it sounds like shifted when Beth passed.
Well, it did, because that was the start of my commitment to becoming as strong as I can as a Christian,
Yeah.
to live a life that my children and grandchildren could respect.
Yeah.
And it was all due to Beth.
Yeah.
As I said, all things move to the good if given time. God's plan is for all of us, and I know what his plan is for me. And to be honest with you, that night, I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
And
I don't think anybody in your family probably does.
And also, on top of that, I felt very bad about, I was in such shock. You know, I picked her up off the floor, and we both had been to CPR training, and I tried the CPR, and the medical group that came in, the emergency people came in for Beth, basically told me to get out of the room. They could take it over because they have work to do. And they tried and tried, and they couldn't revive her. And Beth and I talked about her death because it's common that someone that loses and can't gain weight does have, you do have heart issues.
Yeah.
And
I think they technically, I was just talking to Davey about this, didn't they technically diagnosed her with like congenital heart disease, right?
Well, it was
Because
heart
of
failure, what they told me, and I don't know if it was.
maybe they said that it was that because it was heart failure.
Probably. I don't. I didn't care what the doctor said. I lived with her. I knew her.
Yeah.
I knew that my wife could eat us under the table. That woman could eat, but she wasn't what they call purging or something to control, to lose weight. Because I said, I was right there in bed with her, and the bathroom was right here. She'd have to go over me.
Right.
But anyway, I know that wasn't the case. And I argued with the Vanderbilt doctors. I said, guys, you're wrong. And but anyway, she lasted about 2 more years after the visit we had at the hospital. And Vanderbilt's a great hospital. I just love it there with the people and the service and the care you get. So anyway, the days have gone by, and I can actually, you don't believe this, I actually feel younger and stronger, and it's all due to the Holy Spirit's inside of each of us. Whether you like it or not, He's there. And as you grow in your faith, He grows with you.
Yeah.
Luckily, He's there and He's taking care of me. I can't tell you how many. Now, this is the truth, and this is about your show. I cannot tell you, as a not a strong believer, but not a non-believer, but a strong believer either. But I can't count up the number of miracles. If you don't believe in miracles, you need to come have lunch with me, because it was those miracles. Even Beth's death, the miracle of her salvation, is the biggest miracle in my life, and the miracle that occurred coincides with my study of the Bible. I probably read like a third grader, but I'm really good at listening. Surprise. I'm very good at listening. So I started out studying God's Word through David Jeremiah, Dr. Jeremiah. And that was my mother-in-law's source also of learning. And
I didn't know that.
Oh, she was just a brilliant woman. Her mother just was a Bible genius.
Yeah, Davey loved Dee Dee.
Oh, what a woman. And they're together. They're in heaven.
Yeah.
I know they are, because right at this very moment, all this time has passed, I spend time developing Sunday school classes. And that's the best way I learn, because I taught so long. The only way I know to learn is to teach.
Yeah.
And by teaching, you have to prepare. And those preparations have taught me things like the promises of God. Man, that's some heavy stuff. The promises God made, was it 800 promises in Old Testament, New Testament? When God makes a promise, it's for real.
Yeah.
It's going to happen, and you better get on board. And so that really drove me. I said, I got to learn as many promises as I can. And so that is a big one. Also, tithing. I grew up Catholic, and Catholics are huge tithers. I can remember going to church and my mother each giving us a quarter every Sunday. We all tithe. We thought we were tithing. A quarter wasn't. It was more than I was making. So anyway, that's another subject. And but the promise, and I can't get this vision out of my head. God tells us He will open the windows of heaven and bestow upon us more blessings than we can take. And I have, that's what's happened. Now, I can't say to anybody what they need to do, what they need to do. I'm not a minister. All I'm saying, in my life, I would never stop. In fact, in my will, I want to keep giving even after I die. So, and then the latest, one of the latest ones I'm working on now is heaven. And I took heaven with a grain of salt. Big mistake. I have learned, and I have started, we should all be working towards getting to heaven ourselves and taking as many people with us as we can.
Yeah.
Now, that's what I've learned. And how do you do that? Prayer. We can expect miracles through prayer.
Yeah.
Talking with God, you're going to receive miracles. Maybe not on your schedule, but it's going to happen. And I have a brother.
I was going to ask if you would share this story. It's so good.
This is my favorite story. This is one of I consider, we didn't give up on him. He's a retired judge, brilliant guy, graduated the top of his law school, a lawyer, judge, very kind, generous person, good person. And for 50 years, more than 50 years, he's not been in a church. He grew up Catholic, but after he got into high school, that was it. And now he is 82, I think, not in good health. And for the past several years, my youngest brother, Chris, and Chris he's an old-time religion believer. We worked on him. We wore him out. You wouldn't believe what I would send him, and then the videos of Jelly Roll. I love his music.
Really?
He's got some great faith-based music.
He does.
And so that's my guy. So I would send him some. And my brother's very conservative, all straight-laced. And I said, well, you got to listen to the words of Jelly Roll. You quit worrying about his tattoos. and it's unbelievable that Jelly Roll was instrumental in turning my brother around after 50 years.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that, but he needs to know that. But anyway, I got him involved in listening to my minister, Clearview Baptist Church, Matt Pearson. Funny guy.
Yeah, he's great.
When he puts on a sermon, it's showtime, baby. You learn. You learn. And one day I told him I said, that was really great. When you're not here, I don't learn anything, and I feel stupid all week. And he said, well, you better get ready because next week I won't be here. So I guess you can be stupid all week. He is such a sweet man, a great wife and family. And Bill recognized Matt's talent.
Bill's your brother.
Bill.
Yeah.
Bill,
for people who don't know him.
I'm sorry, Bill. 6'2", big, tall guy, lanky. So he started listening to Matt. And he loved it because Matt's a big Auburn fan. He always has a football joke during the season. And my brother thought, I've never listened to a minister that was so entertaining and interesting. And I've learned a lot. And the next thing I know, I called him one Sunday and said, did you hear Matt today? He was really hot. He said, no, I went to church. 50 years he's going to go to church, and you don't think there are miracles?
Yeah.
And you know what really drove him over the edge? I'm sorry.
No, keep going.
What drove him over the edge was a lady. I was visiting a Sunday school class they call small group. There was a woman, very distinguished looking lady, and it's a very small group, and we were talking. At the beginning of that, they said, who has something they like to pray for today? We went around the room. Of course, when you're in a group of people in their 80s, everybody has something. And I said, well, I have a prayer request. I have an older brother. He's blah, 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 and he hasn't accepted Christ. And we're working on him, and I just need your prayers. This woman very distinguished looking woman, jumped. I guess must have been 80 in her early 80s. She jumped up. I mean, I've never seen an old person move like she could. She jumped up and said, "What's your brother's name?" And I thought, oh no. I said, "His name Judge William B. Hackett." And I can say this because I know he's not listening. And she says, "Well, let's pray right now for him." And she had the most gorgeous prayer I have ever heard as she stood there. And then after that, I was leaving, I was going out the door, and she said, "I'm going to continue to pray for your brother." And I said, "Well, thank you so much. We have a lot of people praying." And see, now you let me know what happens. Like, it's going to happen this week.
Yeah.
And it did.
Yep. Next week, right?
That next Sunday, he went to church.
Yeah.
And now, listen to this. He's gotten hearing aids. He can't hear anything. He got hearing aids so he could listen and hear at church.
Wow.
That guy's motivated. So I think that my next target is one of my other brothers. I'm after him now. I didn't drop the ball with him, but you can only save so many people.
Yeah. That is so good. I have quite a few thoughts.
Good.
One, so you got baptized when you were
Right.
76, I think?
Yeah, I was 76, got baptized. I had been christened as a Catholic, but so I always thought I was baptized, but I didn't understand what it meant to be born again.
Yeah.
And in my case, it was a big step, because in the Catholic Church, you say if you give up your church, if you give up your religion, you're going to hell. Mm. They can't convince me of that now, because that's not where I'm headed.
Yeah. Mm.
So, yeah, it was a good experience. And I just finished my third surgery, and I had a nurse with me.
Yeah.
That helped me at church, and I barely got in and got out of the
tub.
The tub.
It was awesome. But I think it was so cool to watch that, and I think that's such a cool picture for people who are listening to this, who have a family member, and maybe it's their grandfather, but like, it's never too late for someone to give their life to Jesus, like no one's too far gone.
No, it's not too late. You're right.
And I just thought that was such a cool picture. Like, 76, that's late for some people. They might be like, that's late to get baptized, but it was like, no, that's when God captivated your heart and you started walking with Jesus. Mm-hmm. And I've just been so inspired by the way, and I think this is something that your generation does really well, just by the way that it's like, when you gave your life to Jesus, you just said it, like, the whole purpose of our life is to give our life to Jesus, to go to heaven, and take as many people there with us as we can. And that's I think right. Your generation does such a great job of, like, when they make the decision to go all in for Jesus and to give their life to Jesus, to intentionally pray for those people, to have those conversations, to say, like, hey, I want you to be in heaven with me. And I've watched you do that with your brother, and then you're like, all right, he's in, now who's the next? Like, but that's how we're all supposed to live. You know what I mean? Like, and so many of us don't, because we don't want to have the conversations with the people who don't know Jesus, because it feels uncomfortable, or maybe people feel like they don't know what to say. But when you really believe in heaven and hell, and you believe that that's what's on the line, then I think that, like, that, if you really, the weight of that reality should make you want to tell the people that you love, so that you can spend eternity with them. And something Davey has always said after we lost Beth. Number one, I just thought this was cool, and you probably don't know this, but I think it was like 12 years before that. I want to say it was either 10 or 12 years. We're not good with numbers on a podcast, me and you. This is a bad combo.
No, we do this out notes, as you could tell.
Yeah. But that, literally the night that she passed, he said 10 or 12 years before, I think it was 12, something similar had happened where y'all thought you were going to lose her. And he said, I remember begging God that night to give me more time. And God gave me 12 more years than I thought I was going to have. And he was just like, I'm so sad, but I'm so grateful for that extra time that he gave me, which was really impactful to me, to have that perspective of, like, this is a moment that I'm sitting in, that I'm grieving, and I still can see the way God answered a prayer even through this. Another thing is, he also says, like when he looks back on that experience, he always says, if my mom had to pass for my dad to come to know Jesus, then it was worth it, because now we all get to be in heaven together. And when you think about the perspective of, again, heaven and eternity, our life is this big.
It's nothing.
Yeah, and what matters is that we're all together for forever with Jesus.
Well, the most touching thing that I can recall, many things, but I recall as you talked is Dave was a pitcher in college, and he threw 97 miles an hour, and he was a horse, tough, and a very tough kid. Of course, he's eased up now. He's married. But when he come out on the mound in the first inning to pitch, he'd always look up in the stands and look for his mother. It was very touching. He'd always look up, smile, like he'd ready to go. And his mother didn't know anything about baseball. My family's a big baseball fan. All of them played college ball, and he was the last in college playing ball, and we never missed a game, and she was always there.
And you. He always talks about how you never missed anything, and you were always in the stands yelling for him.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed by the yelling part. But
Maybe yelling for him and yelling at other people on his behalf.
I don't know, one man came over, I think it was at LSU. There's some tough fans at LSU.
Yeah.
Came over to me and said, "Is that your son pitching?" And I said, "Yes, sir, he is." "Well, he's doing a great job, but can you tone it down a little bit?" I said, "No, he probably won't go past 6 innings, so you won't be hearing me after that." But
That's so funny.
anyway, it's a great experience, great family experience, and the miracles of life are so small. And I have spent, ever since I was in the hospital, I can go through one miracle after another, after another, after another. Of those surgeries, and I had prostate surgery, and I had some cancer. But anyway, I'd never been in the hospital, and all of a sudden, I was just falling apart. But in that time, laying in bed, because you can't move after that surgery, you sit there, you have a long time to think. And one person that came in, there's several people that influenced me while I was in the hospital. One was a housekeeping lady.
Really?
Oh, she came bouncing in. She was just full of energy, and her niece played college basketball, and she would tell me all the stories, and I just listened to her, and she says, we're so blessed. We're all so blessed. And I, being blessed, people saying that didn't mean much until I realized that I probably been blessed more than anybody. Mm. And then listen to this. One lady, when I went to the emergency room, of course, that's when I would come in and incredible pain, a pain that would cause you to pass out. I passed out several times.
Wow.
And said, "Well, you're going to have surgery, and I may be in surgery tomorrow, and I'm going to write my name on your wrist. And you'll be able to see that name, and I'll come back and I'll talk with you, and you'll know who I was, and I'll put a little mark by it, letting you know I was there praying for you."
Oh, a nurse?
A nurse, yeah.
Wow.
And there are a lot of very faithful people in the hospitals.
Yeah.
That really need our encouragement to help people. Christians need as much attention in their walking, their faith in Christ. They need just as much attention as someone who doesn't know Christ at all.
Yeah.
And so I have on my truck, I say salt and light. Well, I didn't know what that was when I was studying. I ran across that in a Bible study, salt and light. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's why I'm here, is to be the salt of the earth. My father used to say this all the time: be the salt of the earth. And he never walked into a church ever. There's no way. It kills me to say this, but I don't know how in the world. Maybe he's there. Maybe he is in heaven. I hope so, because I want to see him.
Okay, I have a serious life hack for the moms out there. Y'all may have heard me talk about Spry on here or on my Instagram, but if you haven't, Spry makes non-toxic oral hygiene products that my kids absolutely love, and honestly, they've become my secret weapon. They've got toothpaste and mouthwash for both kids and adults, which Davey and I love too. All are made with xylitol, which helps zap those nasty bacteria in your mouth. And let me tell you, my kids are so obsessed with the taste that they will do just about anything for their Spry routine. Finish their dinner? Check. Pajamas on? Check. They're brushing and swishing without a fuss, and it's honestly a win-win for everyone. So if you want to make oral care a breeze and keep all the smiles in your family healthy, give Spry a try. You can use my code GRACE for 20% off site-wide at sprysmile.com/grace. That's sprysmile.com/grace, which is all linked in the show notes.
So anyway, there's so many things that I've learned that I try to pass on. That the lady was changing my oil, and in my truck I carry these little cross pins.
Yeah, I have some.
And so I'll be, especially when I wear them at church, somebody said, "Oh, I'd like to have one of those pins. Where'd you get that pin?" I said, "You've got one." I put it in their hand.
Oh.
The lady at where I get my oil change, young girl. I'd say girl. She was. Everybody's a young girl to me. And I gave her a pin, and I said, "Now you've got to come to my church. Now that you've got a pin, you got to wear it with pride." She says, "Well, I will wear it." And I said, "Well, I hope you will, because God takes care of all of us, and the closer we get to Him, the more important our lives become." And or something like that, So
Yeah.
something sounded real religious. I don't know what I said, to be honest with you. Anyway, she didn't come to church. Then it was a while after Beth died. I went out with a lady that was recommended that I see her, and she's real nice and everything. And we had a good time. We went to listen to a concert there in her neighborhood, and it was fun. And I talked her into come to our church.
Really?
Yeah, she came to our church and got in the choir. And then for some reason, I didn't ignore her. I tried to, and compliment her. I always went and complimented the choir, always. And I complimented her, but the next thing I know, she was gone. I don't know where she went. So there are a lot of people pass through our lives.
Yeah, and something that I feel like I've learned is it's not our job to save people. We can only plant
That's
the
right.
seeds and extend the invitations. And that's a perfect picture of that. Like, you did your part, you invited her, she came, but it's not your job to save her and to keep her in church. Like, she's got to pursue that relationship with God. And as you were talking about promises in the Bible, I just was talking to another one of my podcast guests about this, but I was just reading the verse that says, "Seek and you will find. God, knock and the door will be open to you." And when you read your Bible, looking for the phrases when it says, "You will blah, blah, blah," or "God will blah, blah, blah." Like, those are the promises of God. You seek Him and He promises that you will find Him,
Mm-hmm.
And when the word will is like a trigger word for me that I look for in the Bible when I read, because I'm like, that's God promising something to me.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. He made promises there were like 700 promises to those who believe in Him. 700 promises, but 800, the other 100, approximately.
Yeah.
Other promises were not necessarily to individuals, to God. Making covenants with people. And I think that the miracle for me was, I'm sorry, I'm a terrible reader, and I have a hard time comprehending, and I have a hard time remembering. But at the moment I read the Bible, I get so excited. I'm sure I am distracting to the people in my Bible class, because I come in with such excitement.
Oh.
How old was I? 70. Come in with great excitement, and it's true about people who find Christ for the first time. Even though I've lived this many years in the church, I was right there in church, and 10 years, and not one time in that 10 years did any minister in our church, a very big church, ever make know the fact that we were there. And I would see him when I'd go work out in a gym, but he didn't know who I was. That told me I needed a smaller church, because when I lost Beth, the loneliness I felt was something I never felt before, because I had such a big family growing up and had a big family with Beth. And all of a sudden, I was in that house by myself. So I bought a parakeet.
Yeah, you bought three.
Three parakeets.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie. We're down to one now.
Down to one. And I'm about ready to let him go.
Yeah.
Accidents happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had to have, and I had always had music on. I love Christian music, especially the new stuff.
Yeah.
The new stuff is so meaningful. And then there was a song Beth enjoyed very much. I play it often. The loneliness after losing somebody that you've married 48 years to. I was a counselor. I have a master's in counseling and degree. I know what the process is. I understand it, but probably better than anybody that's even teaching.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away the hurt. It doesn't take away the loneliness. But God will.
Yeah.
And He did that for me through my prayers. And I found ways. You got to stay busy, and you got to stay committed to your faith and to the grace God is willing to just pour out on you.
Yeah.
And I try to study the Bible, but being such a bad student, even though I've had so many different articles written and published and book, I've almost finished it, but I just didn't finish it. I could write, but I can't read.
I'm not good at finishing books either.
I can't read. So anyway, you know what? If you're out there and you say, well, I read the Bible, and my brother said this. I mean, you're talking about a number one in his law class. He says, I read it, but I don't understand it. Well, that's what I had. I had the same problem, and that's when I went and listened to Dr. Jeremiah, and then also over in Dr. Let's see, he's over in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
The World Outreach Church.
Alan
Jackson.
I was like, I think he's named Alan Jackson. Yeah.
Alan Jackson. I listened to him a lot, and I learned so much by listening, and I learned it much faster. And I don't remember it that great, but I do remember the things that are important, I think, to me in my life.
Yeah.
And I know your show is about miracles, but that's really what we are talking about. Seeing the children, your three children being born. I know all of you will agree that that's a miracle.
Totally.
That is an absolute miracle. Well, that happened to me 19 times. And for me, it didn't happen to me.
And God transformed your life and captured your heart through the death of your wife, which on paper doesn't make sense.
No,
on paper, you should look at God and say, why would you let this happen? And in reality, and God can take that too. God can take those emotions of asking him, how could you let this happen? But through the most tragic thing you've ever been through, that's how you got to know Jesus.
It was. And something else I've always said to her family, she was very close to her sister in Texas, and I told them while they were here at her service, we had a service in her home, and
Very sweet.
that's
another question I had was, why do you think when you were sitting in church for all those years that what you were hearing didn't register? Do you feel like it took Beth passing for God to soften your heart to hear and receive what they were saying?
I can tell you, I felt a hardened heart. I felt that. And I even asked myself many times, why inside of me is so resistant? And as I've moved along, I know that the devil's at work.
Yeah.
He does that. He steps in, and you have to discover the Holy Spirit that's within each of us to beat him. It's war.
Yeah.
It is war, And you may hang up today and say, "Well, that guy's nutty as a fruitcake."
No.
But I'm telling you, it exists, and you have to be there, and you have to battle. It's a battle. It's work, and it's not work to get in heaven. It's work to maintain your beliefs,
Yeah, that's good.
because there's a lot of resistance out there.
Yep.
And when Beth died, and asking that question, "Why am I here?" I told her sister, "I'm glad and happy Beth died before me." Doesn't that sound terrible? I'm glad she died before me, because I would hate in my death to put her through the grieving process
Wondering
that
if
I've
you're
gone
going
through.
to, yeah. Well, and if you weren't saved before then, like it's also incomprehensibly painful to process and grieve. Like what you said about your dad, like, am I going to see them in heaven? Like, she may have had those questions if you weren't walking with Jesus and you had passed before her, but now it's like you will be with her again
I'm
and you will
there.
be with Jesus. That's right.
I'm there. I'm confident, especially recently after studying the verses in the Bible concerning heaven. Heaven is there, and there will eventually be heaven on earth. And as heaven on earth, just as the prayer says.
Yeah.
And we will be living in a land better than even the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, well, if the Garden of Eden was Garden
Eden.
of Eden was here on earth, why is it so hard to believe that it can't be again?
Yeah.
And then studying some difficulties in studying, but I try to supplement everything.
Have you ever watched The Chosen?
The who?
The Chosen?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say that is a great resource to help bring scripture to life and help you understand it. You
It
should
does.
recommend that to your brother.
That's a good idea. Of all the things I should have done, I'll do it now, because of course, I got to take him, because he won't go to a movie. He won't go out to eat. I want to.
So you have a TV?
I don't want to go. I don't want to catch COVID. I said, Bill, you just don't want to get out of that recliner we just bought you.
Cool.
Yeah, that is a great movie, and it also brought me closer to Christ, because I felt some of the personality that exists there that
Yeah.
I never thought about as on his human side.
Yes. Makes him feel like your friend.
Yeah, that's
buddy.
right. That's right. That he wants us in heaven. God wants us in heaven. I know I do. I want to go, but it makes it a lot easier when he wants you there.
Yeah.
So I wish I could go out and shake people, and get their attention as to, we only have a certain number of days on this earth.
Yeah.
And I know I realized that from Beth's death, because she was, other than being so obviously sick from not being able to gain weight,
Yeah.
she was strong.
Yeah.
And I wish she was still here,
Yeah.
but I don't think I'd be nearly as far along in my beliefs as I am today, and I owe it all to her.
Yep.
Obviously to the Holy Spirit. But
Yeah. Something I love just in listening to you talk is I feel like my generation also, and maybe this isn't a generational thing, but I think I see it a lot in the people around me, is that I think I love your confidence in the fact that you're going to heaven, because the Bible's like so clear. You give your life to Jesus, you have a relationship with him, and that is the key to heaven. You can't earn it. Your past doesn't disqualify you from it. But I think a lot of people struggle with like, okay, well, I'm a Christian, but am I still going to get into heaven?
yeah,
And it's as simple as you're saying, like,
that's right.
it doesn't matter what your past has been like. It doesn't matter if your heart was hardened or what your experience has been like in the church. Like, you give your life to Jesus, you're saved, and then you're not going to be perfect after that, but you repent. God always forgives you, and you get to spend eternity with him, and your purpose in the meantime is just to share that good news. Like, when you experience that, you just want to tell people about it.
You do, and I'm sure that some people are probably angered that I approach them, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I care about my soul and their soul, and where we are going to end in heaven is going to be with bodies a lot better than this one.
so good.
It's been the greatest experience of my life, and I try to find more and more opportunities to thank God for the small miracles and the people He puts in our path.
Yeah.
There are people put in your path, my path, as we live our lives, that we need to pay attention to, and to encourage, or for them to allow them to encourage us. At the hospital, for those two months, I met some of the most incredible people who were Christians. They were doing their life's work and caring for the people that come to the hospital. And I'm lucky to still be walking.
Yeah.
I have such a great doctor.
Yeah, it's so good to acknowledge too, because I think nurses are one of the demographics that experience the highest rates of burnout. I think nurses and teachers. And so I'm right there with you. Like, I will shout from the rooftops that a loving nurse is... Nurses can change your experience in the hospital when you're in such a vulnerable state.
Mm-hmm.
Your experience with your nurses can truly change your life. And I would say, like, looking back on the birth of my children, my nurses directed so much of that experience. If I had a kind, gracious nurse, which everybody has bad days, so like even the ones who weren't as kind and gracious could have been having a bad day, but it really is just remarkable. I mean, you've said it so many times, like the difference that our medical caretakers have. So it's good to just acknowledge, if you're listening to this and you're in the medical field, thank you.
Dental.
Salt of the earth. Yep.
I just had a crown replaced by a lady who's a dentist. She must have been maybe 38. And before she started, we were carrying on. You know, I'm always coming up with something. I said, you smell better than my other dentist. This other guy smells like some aftershave. And I said, I mean that as a compliment. She says, well, I'll take it that way. Thank you very much. But anyway, and so when I got to know her, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave this cross with you. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I want you to know that it's given in with appreciation of what you've done for me, because it didn't hurt a bit. And she was so proud of that. And she's also proud of the fact that I called her an artist. I said, you're an artist. So finding ways to compliment people, to build a relationship, you try to find a way, just in those moments, to be friends with somebody.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who just need that sort of encouragement. She probably didn't, but she was very talented, and I'm so proud of my many crowns, but her, not in heaven. I ain't counted those yet, but they're back in my mouth. I'm just getting ready to study the crowns. Now I got to figure that out yet, because I want to make sure that I have plenty of crowns up in heaven.
I have a great sermon I'm going to send you on that.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
It's, what, that heaven is a difficult topic.
Yeah.
So please, everybody, you got to be focused on getting yourselves to heaven, and what heaven is, and when it's going to occur, and what it's going to be like when you get there. And I was always interested in, are there animals in heaven? I love animals.
I know. And
it turns out that we probably won't have our dogs there. There will be dogs, but not our dogs necessarily. Well, they're animals. But and the question is, what are you going to do when you get in heaven? If there are animals there, I'd like to take care of the animals. And so there's work, jobs for us to do. There's in heaven, there's praise of the Lord and our God in heaven. And
that's a great, I'm going to start asking more people what they want to do when they get to heaven.
Oh, there's work. There's things to do. I think, from what I can tell, but I haven't finished my study yet.
I'll be a travel agent, and I'll travel the new redeemed earth.
What a good idea!
There you go.
I like that, travel agent, and the destination will be heaven.
Yeah.
And I love that. The class I'm getting ready to teach. Hopefully, I've entitled it "Knocking on Heaven's Door,"
That's
like
good.
the song.
Yeah.
Like you probably don't. It doesn't mean that much to you, but some of your listeners out there Knocking on Heaven's Door,
Yeah,
the
I've
Guns
heard
N'
of it.
Roses version is. So I asked our music minister the other day, I said, can you turn that Knocking on Heaven's Door into a faith-based song? He's big on doing stuff like that. And he says, that's not a bad idea. I'll take a listen to that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I just love that song. And sometimes I even play it while I'm working on this topic, because I always try to choose music that coincides with what I'm studying. That for me is important.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of great jelly roll items out there that.
I love that so much.
He's my hero. After he got out of jail.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So anyway, one day I hope to meet him, and I hope to thank him for his encouragement. And
Yeah, I love that. I have 2 more questions for you.
okay, I'm ready.
Okay, one is, what is your favorite miracle story in the Bible?
I know that. I know the answer to that. It's the first thing I studied in the Bible.
Really?
Very first thing I studied, and I haven't found anything that has more important information in it than the miracle of God raising Lazarus from the dead. And his 2 sisters, and how he managed that situation in such a way that he went to his home in Bethania, and met with the family, went to the gravesite, rolled back the stone, and raised him from the dead. And it was all planned. It wasn't just coincidence. And the part of his plan was that he would be able to describe to Mary and his sister, one of his sisters anyway, how you get to heaven. It's there. And it's his promise. So don't, I was listening to somebody out the other day, don't be stupid. I guess it was the president. Our president said, don't be stupid. Why would you listen to that promise and not affect your life? That's God's promise. God doesn't break promises. And it's a great story but the best part of that story is his describing what's necessary in your faith so that you too can get to heaven. Now, is that not a double miracle?
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's an amazing miracle.
Our pastor just said too, in that story, when it says, I can't remember exactly how he addresses Lazarus. Does he say wake up or rise up? He said, this is just a side note that I think is cool. A lot of theologians believe that if he didn't address Lazarus by name when he said get up, all the dead people would rise, because that was how powerful Jesus' words were.
Isn't that amazing?
I thought that was so cool.
Well, listen to this. This is how powerful his words are. This is the funniest sermon I've ever heard. And I don't think it was intended in the Bible to be funny, but Sunday our minister was talking about the way Christ moved the devils into the pigs.
Oh yeah, the
This
demons.
man was possessed
Yeah.
by devil, many devils.
Yeah,
Moved them into the pigs. There was like 1,000 pigs.
and they ran off a cliff.
Yeah, they ran off the cliff. Stupid pigs. You know what? They ran off the cliff after being possessed, and the man that was possessed went to what was considered a normal life because he was living in a cemetery. I mean, this guy was nuts. But he cured him from all of those spirits and put them into the pigs and ran them off the cliff. And our minister said, I would like y'all to know that's the first example of deviled ham. Is that not nuts? I'm glad I wasn't sitting on the aisle. I would have fallen out of my chair.
That's amazing.
So what I did, I got a can of deviled ham, and I've got a little baby Jesus I give people sometimes.
Yeah.
Little small rubber Jesus. I glued it on top of the devil, and I put the scripture on the side, name of the scripture on the side. I'm gonna give it to him Sunday. Is
Amazing.
that gonna be bad?
He'll think that's hilarious for sure.
That's. I sent Mark, Chris a picture, Dave a picture.
Really? Okay, I'll have to have him show it to me.
That's right. That's a miracle.
Yeah, totally. Okay, two other things. One, I keep thinking back on you talking about writing a note to the parents of those nurses. And I just want to say to you, as Davey's dad, thank you for raising such an awesome, awesome person that I get to be married to and spend my life with.
Well, there may be some devil spirits in him, but we're trying to get rid of them. Get us a
No,
pig. We get a pig over here, and he'll be set.
no, you raised such an exceptional person.
He's a hard worker, very competitive. He was one of the finest baseball players. All of my kids played college ball, but he, like his high school coach, when he tried him out, we came up here from Memphis, watched him try out on the field, and he said, "That boy is the real deal. He could do everything." Unfortunately, he was injured, and I said, don't be so down about it. You know, you've married probably the most beautiful woman
No,
in the world, and then on top of that, you have 3 great children. That's got to be better than Major League Baseball.
yeah,
And he says, "Well, I'd like to just try it." So anyway, he is settled in, and
well, he has a great heart, and you should be proud.
I think he loves people. He loves to help people out. All I got to do is call him,
Yeah, he is a helper.
and so is his brother
Johnny.
Jonathan.
Yeah,
I would have never gotten through my surgeries. I don't even, when I say gotten through, I mean I don't think I would have physically survived.
yeah,
That would have killed me. In fact, one of the nurses told me after my 3rd surgery, she said this would kill most people your age. And I said, well, I think,
but you're tough.
am I in heaven yet? Well,
Oh,
anyway, we got through it, and I appreciate that. I just crazy about my kids, and
yeah, he loves
they
you.
have some of the greatest wives. I have daughter-in-laws.
Yeah.
And y'all can cook.
Well, I'm learning. Megan is a great cook.
Oh yeah, our daughter-in-law Megan.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to ask you is just from a legacy perspective, you are leaving such an impactful legacy behind to your kids and your family.
Uh-huh.
And if you could say one thing, just like ending words on this to your family or to anyone listening, what would they be?
Well, it sounds like a difficult question, and I'll give you a too simple an answer. Don't give up on the Word. Don't give up on Christ. Don't give up on God, because He doesn't give up on us.
Yeah, that's
Don't
so good.
if no matter what happens in your life, and I'm sure there are things that are much more difficult than what I've been through. I know that. Don't give up. My daughter, my only daughter, 5 children, single mother, 2 autistic children, and has a master's degree from Claremont. Smart girl. Yesterday, she was able to accept a job teaching, and she's prayed for this, one that she could stay home with the children when they need it, but they will take her anytime she can walk in the door. She is a gifted special ed teacher, and just loves those kids. And I said, well, what about money? I said, what are you happy with the pay? And she says, well, I am. It's more than I've made teaching so far. And it's always been special ed and in these special schools, and they typically don't pay very much. But she says this is much better. But more importantly, I have some of the greatest kids. And when I left class the other day, they all came and hugged me. So that means that's money to her.
Yeah.
But when I say don't give up, she's a person who did give up. And she was having troubles with one of her children that just was outside what typically happens in a Hackett family. We're all very straight-laced and do what's right. And and go to church on Sunday, which I did too. But anyway, and I said, you get that girl in church. Not just every once in a while. I said, you get her in church every Sunday, and your mother would be so disappointed that she wasn't there right now. I said, you get that girl in church, and with the right friends, and she loves to dance, and so she got her in a Christian dance group, and she got her in church, and her friends are from the church. They all go to the same high school together, and she's never thought of herself as a great student. Well, compared to her siblings, she wasn't. But she's now in honors English, and she's making straight A's.
It's amazing.
And goes to church religiously. She goes to working in the community projects, and it does everything you would expect a young lady that is committed to Christ would be doing. Mm. So I look forward to the days that she's baptized. I tell my grandsons, I said, I hope I'm around here to see you play Major League Baseball, because each generation has gotten better and better.
Yeah.
I say it's up to Bear and crew to become the next ball players.
And we've got a lefty.
Yeah, left-handed. I hope I can live that long. I pray that I live that long to see him walk on the field for the Boston Red Sox.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. Yeah, I'd be in a wheelchair, but I'd be there.
That's right.
So anyway, Jennifer started back, and her whole outlook on life, as difficult as it is, you can imagine how difficult it is, because she doesn't make very much money. She works out of her home for Beth's family's business, and she's very talented, a very good artist, and she paints portraits of houses, and she's pretty good at it. And dogs. She loves to paint dogs.
Yeah, we have one of our dog downstairs that she painted, in the bathroom.
I have one of our Westie that I have on the wall that our dogs will go up to and start barking at it.
Really?
It's so realistic looking.
That's awesome.
So anyway, there's another miracle. We've got so much to pray and appreciation. Don't forget to take the time to stop and think about thanking God for His grace and gracious way He cares for us.
Yeah.
And it's remarkable what He does in our lives. It's remarkable.
Yeah.
So
That's
anyone
so
out there
good.
listening that feels like they need to get better at their faith, choose a method. There are thousands of opportunities out there that you can tap into that will fit the way you best learn.
Yeah, that's so good.
I won't read in Sunday school. I won't read it. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't read out loud.
but you can teach.
Oh, I can teach like a bandit.
Yeah, that's so good. Well,
Okay.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on.
You are so sweet to even invite me. I couldn't believe it. I said, I got up at 2 o'clock this morning. I said, what am I going to say? And I fell back asleep. As you can tell.
It was great. Thank you.
Okay. Good luck,
Sweet.
all you listeners. Thank you.
Love it.